What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Welcome back. We are here to review Raising Kanan season 5, episode 6. Y'all, I cannot believe we only have 2 more episodes left. I don't know why we didn't get 10 episodes. I'm just not sure. I'm sure it's out there on the internet somewhere and somebody probably looked it up, but it just seems to me like it's the final season. Y'all know it's a lot of information that we as the viewers are going to want. And I don't feel like they're rushing it, but I also feel like why we couldn't get 2 more episodes. We've been getting 10 episodes. Why we only getting 8 now? I don't like it. But anyway, let's get into it. I thought this was a good episode. I actually had to watch it twice because I feel like things are falling into place. Questions are being answered that we kind of have. But the one thing I know about shows like this is that mostly everything means something. Sometimes it's stuff that you think is going to mean something and it ends up not being anything. But for the most part, when certain things go down, they mean something. So what's up, DeMarcus? I know when I do a raising, I know when I do a power, you jump, you going to be in here. Hey, boo. So we start this episode off with the aftermath of Marvin finding out that Kanan took out Uncle Lou. And he's talking to Rock. And then we see Kanan with Jerika, I do think it was a solid episode, DeMarcus. I absolutely believe it was a solid episode. I agree with you. Marvin is talking to Rock. And let me tell you something. I love Rock. Let's be clear. I love Rock. That's my girl. Don't you say nothing bad about Rock, okay? Raquel Thomas is my girl. However, Raquel and Kanan, you can tell that they're mother and son because they got the same problem. They can never take responsibility for shit they put in place. Rock is acting like Rock's explanation to Marvin has no emotion behind it. It's like, look, he had the weapon on me. Lou came in, spooked him. He shot Lou. That's it. That's all. It is what it is. And Marvin is like how you just going to act like it's just 1 + 1 = 2? Like, this is our brother. This is your son. This is some complicated dynamic. And at some point, Raquel is going to have some sort of a breakdown because she is compartmentalizing way too many emotions. And she said, well, Marvin, listen, if you want me to say, because Marvin was like, listen, if it wasn't for Juke, you'll be picking out a casket right now. Like, I almost took that dude out. And Raquel was like, what you want me to say? Because at the end of the day, if you want me to say that my son deserves to go because of what happened, I'm not going to do that. That's my son. That's my child. Like, I'm going to always pick my son. And I think that's part of the problem. You're going to always pick your son. Part of the reason why you're going to always pick your son is why all of y'all are in this situation now. Because when you needed to put a foot in his tail or let him deal with the consequences of what he was out there doing, you ain't let him do it. You didn't let him deal in it. Like, you didn't even I'm not saying that Kanan deserved to be taken out, which we know is what should have happened to him many times. But the ass whooping he needed. Like, you should have let Marvin whoop his ass a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Raquel was unhinged and now she lost control and power. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Teach, 1994. How you doing? I used to work with I had a coworker named Teach. His last name was Teach. He passed away a few years ago. When I saw your name, that's the first thing I thought about. Love your insight on this show as well. Thank you. As Beyond the Gates. Well, thank you. And I'm glad to see you. Drop down more often. How you doing? So Marvin is basically letting Rock know, listen, I don't know how I feel about this situation. And then immediately Rock starts talking about, I just got word that Joaquin got put down. We need to find some more yayo. We need to find a new supplier. And Marvin is like, and she was like, listen, the business goes on. And he was like, this business. And I have to be honest and say, I kind of feel him on that. Like, at this point in time, it's time to make some hard decisions about the Thomas family business. It really ain't much left of this family business as it seems. Okay, now you don't have no, so you go from one extreme to the other. First, you don't have no territory. You got all the supply in the world. Then you don't have a supply, and now you got all the territory in the world. You are fighting too many wars on too many sides, and that is the reason why the closer we get to the end of this, the more I'm just worried that Raquel don't make it. I'm 99% convinced that Marvin goes to jail. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how he ends up going, but I'm 99% I 99% believe that Marvin is going to jail. I think Marvin is alive, but I think Marvin is behind bars. I also think Marvin has a spiritual awareness, and maybe he becomes a preacher. Maybe he becomes some sort of, religious situation when he gets to prison. That's my 2 cents on it. I think in Origins, we may see a scene where Kanan visits Marvin in jail, and Marvin at that point is like carrying a Bible or something. Don't know that. That's what I feel. We don't know nothing. That's how I feel about that. Okay. Then we see Kanan and Jarita. She's trying to nurse his wounds, and she's like, what's happening? What's going on? She was like, I know you into some stuff, but I need to know that I'm safe if I'm going to be around you. And he was like, look, you safe. Like, whatever, girl. Stop being melodramatic. You're safe. This situation is on me. Like, yes, I'm in the streets. Yes, I'm doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. I'm more of a money man. Like, I'm not on the streets. I'm not doing hand to hands. But yeah, I'm in the game. But this was not about the game. This was a personal situation. It's between me and whoever it's between, and it is what it is. I just hope Marvin's character isn't. I don't think he is. I just don't believe that he is. And I don't know that. Listen, I'm not in the writer's room, but I don't believe he is, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Breeze and Kanan could eliminate Marvin and frame Snaps and Pops for Marvin's death. That is another reason why Jukebox go after Snaps and Pop. Listen, at this point, y'all, anything is possible. I don't know. Anything is possible. I have no insight on any of it. I mean, it's all a guess at this point. So he ends up eventually, Kanan ends up letting Jarita know, listen, in the beginning, yes, I was using you to get information because your new boss is my enemy. And she was like, my new boss, who? Flossie? He was like, nah, not Flossie, Raquel. And he eventually tells her that Raquel is his mother. And Jarita is like, listen, I don't know if this is what I signed up for. Like, I understand effed up families. Me and my mama don't have the best situation. So I understand families that are a little effed up, but this is a little bit more effed up than what I'm used to. I'm really not sure how I feel about this situation as a whole. I need a minute. Okay, I need a minute on this. Okay. Now, while this is going on, we see Breeze is following Habib around. He's eliminated Joaquin, and now he's following Habib, and he's trying to find out if there's a weakness in Habib, like the same way he was able to roll up on Joaquin. He's trying to see if there's some sort of weakness there. So we see him following him from the club to the house. We see that his security tells him, hey, bruh, you park too close. You can't park here. He's like, my bad. And then we see him follow him to the restaurant. We see that he does some recognizance. And his resolution is absolutely not. Like, this dude, his security is too tight. I'm not going to be able to do this the same way I did Joaquin. It's not going to happen. He goes back to the fish man. He goes back to the fish man, and he lets the fish man know, look, this ain't going to work. And the fish man is like, he said, listen, we already got Rock on her, we already got Rock on the ropes. He was like, I don't want her on the ropes. I want her under the ropes, And Breeze, for as crazy as Breeze is, Breeze actually is, because Breeze is all about the money. At the end of the day, it's all about the money. At the end of the day, it's all about It's all about what makes sense for his business, right? He told the same thing to Kanan as he's telling to the fishman, Stefano. He's like, look, we done put a dent in her business. She's hurt. We don't, like, going after Habib is going to be kind of a suicide mission because we're not going to be able to get close to him. And so what we find out is Bree says, listen, let's do it a different way. Let's be diplomatic about the situation. So we'll get to that conversation later on in the episode. Now we see Garcia rolling up on the FBI because Garcia is still trying to get information on what happened to Famous. So he goes to the FBI the FBI dude was like, listen, I shouldn't even be talking to you. Your whole precinct is under review. Like, we think everybody up in here is dirty. Like, we kind of don't think you dirty. We're pretty convinced that you're not dirty. However, you don't need to be up in here. Okay, you don't need to be right. Stefano is obsessed with Raquel, but I told y'all what it's about. It's about the fact that she's a woman and a black woman at that, and he just can't stand it. Like that, he just can't stand a black woman that got up on him or got one on it. Just how, that's all it's about. It ain't about business. It's all about revenge, and that's what has his vision cloudy. But there it is. So Garcia gets information and he finds out, listen, FBI dude, okay, Tanner, thank you, DeMarcus. DeMarcus gonna give me these people's names, okay? Tanner tells him, listen, I can't tell you much because I shouldn't be saying anything to you, but please understand, the whole precinct is dirty and you need to start from the top. Start from Baptiste. Now, remember, Baptiste was the captain that retired. Baptiste was the one that told Garcia, don't stop digging until you find out who did what. And so for us to be like, what? He was dirty. A lot of us, myself, I'm going to speak for me, I was like, what? He was the one telling Garcia, keep digging, keep digging, keep digging. So I was like, how we get to a point where now, Baptiste was the one in on it. So Garcia can't believe it. And Garcia actually rolls up on Baptiste at his retirement party. Now, I'm going to be honest. I feel like there was a better time you could have had this conversation, Garcia. Like, you did not have to roll up on that man's retirement party to have this conversation with him, but he does. And Baptiste basically tells him to go F himself. He was like, how dare you show up on the day of my retirement party and bring me this bull hockey? Like, I'm not having this conversation with you. I'm out. Okay. Now we're gonna come back around to that later. Okay. This next scene, for me, is probably one of the best scenes we have seen in a minute. I think Marvin's scene a couple of episodes ago when he lets Rock know, I've always had your back. Like, you question my loyalty, you always question me, but I have always been there for you and I have always had your back. I think that was a really great scene. But this scene right here between Kanan and Jukebox, not only was it a great scene, but I think that this is the scene that we've been waiting for. This is the moment that we have all, as viewers of the original Power, that saw Jukebox and Kanan and saw how that ended. We've been trying to figure out, how did we get here? How did we get to a point where Jukebox was so willing to double cross Kanan, and Kanan was so willing to take her out? This, I think, was the moment. I understand we still got to get through origins and all of that. I understand that probably more goes on in their relationship after this. I got it. But this right here was the change. This was the pinnacle. This was the fork in the road. Because Jukebox is like, so you mean to tell me that's it? Like, there's nothing deep here? It wasn't like, oh my gosh, an accident. Like, you straight up just shot your uncle. She said, I stopped my dad from taking you out because I thought it was more to this story. And there's nothing here. She was like, and then not only did you take Uncle Lou out, then you lied about it. And here he go. That's on her. First of all, I really hate the fact that they got this boy talking through his teeth like his jaw is broken. I understand that adult Kanan, aka 50 Cent, we know 50 Cent got this thing with his job because of when he was shot and all of that, but it's too much. It's becoming too much. That whole that damn mumbling, talking through your teeth like your jaw is broken thing. I need you to open your mouth up, sir. It's too much. It's too much. And there's no explanation for it. At least with adult Kanan, like y'all could have given him an injury or something for why adult Kanan talk like that. But kid Kanan don't need to talk like that. Like it's becoming. Every season is becoming more and more exaggerated. And it's just, but this scene, so he gonna say that was on her. That's on her. I'd have told y'all. First of all, you a mother blipping lie. You are a mother blipping lie. You know why, Kanan? Because Kanan, you have never taken responsibility for anything you have done. You have always blamed somebody else for it. So you think that I believe that you would have told the truth about what happened with Lou? If your mother had tried to tell Jukebox what happened, Juke wouldn't have even believed her. Now, Marvin, that's a different conversation. But Juke's first response would have been to believe you because she's always tried to have your back and support you. So first of all, for you to try to blame Rock, I think it's some bull hockey because, again, it ain't on Rock. It's on you, bruh. Then I think Baptiste is his dirty cop was a writer's pivot. He did tell him to continue investigating. Me too. Mr. Teach, I think that was something that I agree. I'm going to say this. I agree with that as well. So then Jukebox said the best line that I think we have heard in a long time. Jukebox was like, listen, bro, you can't have it both ways. You can't be out here like you the man, but then acting like a bitch. Because you're out here acting like you running something and you so in charge and you the man, but then every time your back get against the wall, it's my mommy, my mommy, my mommy. And let's go back all the way back to the beginning. You went over there to take your mother out. So let's just worst case scenario, you took your uncle out, but your intent was to take your mother out. Let's start at the beginning and work our way back. You had the weapon on your mom to begin with. Ain't like you and your mama would sit there having tea. DeMarcus, I said that at the beginning of this. I said that Rock and Kanan are two peas in a pod because neither one of them have taken responsibility. I said, now, DeMarcus, I know you don't like Rock, but I said that about Rock. Now, don't come in here because I said that's the first thing I said, and you was here from the beginning. You heard me say it. You heard me say it. I love you, boo. He's only obligated to listen to Rock when it benefits him. Otherwise, she's the devil, right? And baby. And this is why I know that we've made a pivot. This is why I know we've made a pivot because Jukebox said to Kanan, you ain't shit. And you know what? I don't think you ever were. Because remember, Jukebox has always found a way to defend and support Kanan. Even when she knew Kanan was wrong. Even when she knew Kanan was moving fucked up, she has always defended him. And that was the pivot for me, y'all. So that was probably one of the most important moments if we're talking about how we got to power and taking us into origins. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see the next two episodes where Jukebox makes the pivot, but that was the pivot. That for all of us who've been waiting for it, in my opinion, that was the moment that Jukebox realizes I've been defending you, and you really have been fucked up this whole time. I've been trying to defend you though, but you really, really have been fucked up this whole time. This must be when she decided to become a corrupt police lady, especially after Marvin dies in my side. I don't think Marvin dies though, but we'll see. I think Marvin goes to jail. Marvin gave Kanan the physical beating he deserved, and Juke gave him the verbal. Yeah, you know what? There you go. There you go, Mr. Teach. There you go. Mr. Teach, are you a teacher? Or is that like just a nickname or something? Are you an actual teacher? I'm just curious because I'm a teacher, so I'm just curious. So then we see Famous's mom go and talk to Raquel, and I thought that, although in my opinion there was nothing deep, like no great revelation that came out of this conversation, I think that this was a great closure moment for those two mothers who probably went through a lot watching their kids grow up, right? Their kids grow up as best friends. She took a box of stuff over there that belonged to Kanan because she's packing up and she's moving to California with her daughter. And it's probably stuff that, she came across, she was probably finally able to clean up Famous's room and all that kind of stuff. And we're reminded that when they were homeless, Famous lived with them, right? We're reminded of that. And she said, Famous's mom said, when we were living in the shelter, he was living with you. I'm sure he said some not so nice things about me. And this was, listen, when Raquel wants to have a heart, she can have a heart. Raquel said, all he ever told me was that he loved you. Now, he may or may not have said more because kids are kids and kids feel the way they feel. But I absolutely, positively I loved this scene. I loved this moment. I loved that they were able to have this moment, right? Maybe in this moment was when Raquel started feeling a little guilty because we saw what she ended up doing next. Maybe that's when she started feeling a little guilty about what happened with Lou. Because the one thing Marvin said, I did forget this part, my bad. The one thing Marvin said to her was, he said, listen, you remember when we were taking Lou to the rehab center, he thought we was about to put him down. And all he said was, don't leave me out here in the woods. Like, don't throw me away like trash. He said, and you did the exact thing, the one thing he asked that never happened to him. You threw him in an empty lot like he was some trash. Now, Raquel was like, look, I panicked. And to be fair, I don't know what alternative Raquel had, if I'm being honest. Like, if you take him to a hospital, they got you on camera. If you can't let them stay in your house because then the cops show up and that's a whole nother conversation. Hell, your house already been shot up once. I just feel like I don't know what option she had, but I definitely understand how Marvin felt. I definitely understand where Marvin was coming from. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. I know that's just a package being delivered, but that sounded real aggressive just now, the way he opened my door. Like, oh, I get it when I get off of here. I think she always felt guilty. I just don't think she allowed herself to think about it. I agree, Bap. I think Rock feels guilty about a lot of stuff, but that's what I was saying at the beginning of this. That's what I was saying at the beginning of this. I think Rock compartmentalizes a lot of those emotions, and that's why her ass she needs some real therapy, not just that one little session. We're going to talk about that in a second, but she needs some real therapy. I'm a recent retired high school history teacher at 31 years. What? I taught at the same school that London Brown graduated. He has always been talented and a cool person. Really? I love him. I think he is hilarious. I love him. He's a great actor. I love him. Oh, wow. I'm a history teacher. Now, I'm close to retirement. I'm not quite where you are. I wish I was. I'm close, though. I can see the light. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see it. It's right there. The light is right there. But congratulations. Congratulations to you. Yes. Okay. We Kendra Spears, you a history teacher. I'm a history teacher. Congratulations. All right. Olga made Rock think about Lulu and Dr. Caldwell checked Rock, and Rock couldn't handle the truth. You can't stand Rock, baby. But thank you for the super chat, boo. Thank you, DeMarcus. I also think by the end of this episode, Rock is ready to pass, but she's not the type to just lay down. I don't disagree. I do think there's a part of Rock that's on a almost like a death by cop kind of thing. Like, I'm not gonna go out without a fight, but I know there's really no out for me. You know what I mean? I kind of see that, Bap. I kind of see where you're coming from on that one. So okay, some of the stuff I jumped ahead. So I already talked about when Breeze went back to the fish man Salvatore and told him, listen, this ain't gonna work. And they decided that they was gonna be diplomatic about the situation. And then I already talked about Garcia rolling up on the retirement teacher. We're gonna talk about that. We love him too. It's coming, and you deserve all of the things that are coming. Thank you, because I'm ready for him. I'm ready for him. I thank you. So then we see Breeze and Kanan. Kanan, listen, Marvin, you fuck Kanan up. Like the whole left side of his face is just, and I mean, it's healing up, it's healing up a little bit. But Breeze is like, look, like, tell me who did this. We'll take care of it. And he was like, nah, that's on me. Like, this on me. Like, this, I got it. I'm gonna take care of it. It's on me. Breeze tells him, look, well, maybe you need to lay low a little bit, because maybe like the people don't need to see you like this. Like, if we're not gonna get retribution, the people don't really need to see you moving like this. Like, maybe you need to, you need to handle you need to handle your people, Now, Kanan was like, listen, I wish they would step out of line. Like, I wish they would, And I'm like, Kanan, bruh, whatever. So, Breeze gives Kanan a new car. He said, look, we had to torch your old one because of, everything that went down with Joaquin. We had to burn your car up. So here's a new car. Now, here's what was stupid. He was like, people gonna see you coming from blocks away. Maybe that's not the best car to buy a drug dealer in. A criminal. Maybe they don't need the kind of car where people can hear them coming from blocks away. Although I know that criminals buy them kind of cars all the time. And at first, Kanan was like, nah, I'm good. Like, my mother tried to buy me a car before. And, it comes with, the car, when people give you something like that, it comes with, there's a catch to it. Like, I don't, nobody feel like they got to owe me nothing. I don't owe them anything. And Breeze was like, look, dude, the car is yours. Do with it what you want. Like, and I think in that moment, Kanan maybe felt like maybe I pushed too far. Maybe I pushed a little too hard. Let me pull back a little bit on this one. Maybe I did a little. And he was like, but it is nice. And then they go riding off in the car, whatever. I actually like Rock in season 1. However she did Symphony dirty, Symphony care for Rock and Kanan. You still mad about season 1? Rock has given you so many other reasons to be mad at her. You still mad about season 1 and Symphonique? I wish that's who she would end up with. Maybe a part of me is a little romantic at heart. I wish a part of me wish that that's where she would end up, like going down to North Carolina and be with that man. But anyway, you think Rock will go on a dummy mission to confront Stefano and they take each other out? Ooh. Let me say this. If Rock doesn't make it, which I'm starting to really believe she's not, y'all. I'm going to just tell y'all. I've said it before. I'm going to keep saying it until I'm proven wrong. I really don't think Rock makes it out, y'all. But I think that if Rock doesn't make it out, Rock goes out in a ball of fire. Like, I think Rock is going to go out like Cleo in Set It Off. Like, I think she go out fighting. Like, I don't think it's going to be no somebody caught her slipping, somebody walked up in her on the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's going to be nothing that subtle. I think it's going to be she going out fighting. That's what I think. So it could very well be something like that, Felicia. She may. Because I definitely don't see her going out, meek. That would be totally contrary to her character. And I would hate if the writers did that. If they gave her some old bullshit ending. I would really, 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 if you're gonna take Raquel Thomas out, then like remember Monet went out, how Monet went out? Monet went out fighting. Monet went out doing the same thing she always did, protecting her kids. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna take Rock out, then take her out fighting. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see no old bull hockey stuff. Okay? Now, Marvin goes to Lou's grave, and he's basically, you see he is struggling really. Oh, I forgot the part where he rolled up on Kanan's boys, and he couldn't even go through with it. Like, he was going to probably rob Kanan's stash house and take out everybody who was inside. And we know that a season ago, Marvin would have done it with no thought. Like, hell, the beginning of this season, Marvin would have took out the whole apartment and probably everything in it. You know, he'd have took. Well, he may not have. Marvin ain't no thief, but he definitely would have took out the stash house. And we saw that he just didn't. He couldn't even finish the job. Like, he couldn't even do it. And he literally caught them slipping. Like they weren't prepared for none of that. So yeah, there's that. I always find it hilarious when people, and I'm guilty, I've done it, let me be clear. But I always find it hilarious when people leave stuff at the gravesite. Like Marvin was like, well, I know you were on the wagon when you left out of here. So, you know, it probably ain't right that I bought you some liquor, but do with it what you want. And I was like, do with it what you want. What is Lou supposed to do with it, Marvin? What is Lou supposed to do with the bottle of Hennessy that you left at his grave? And don't get me wrong, it's not funny, but it's funny. And I'm guilty. I have left stuff at people's grave. I'm just going to be honest. I am guilty. But it is absolutely hilarious to me. Marvin was like, do with it what you want. And I was like, what is he supposed to what is Lou going to do? Lou is not doing anything with it, sir. I promise you, Lou's not. I promise. Hilarious. Anyway. So Rock goes to see Lou's therapist. You guys, we remember him from when Lou was in rehab. And Rock wants to know what Lou said about her. Right? Again, now we see Rock trying to process, because after that conversation with Famous's mom, and I guess Famous's mom wanting to know what he said about her and how he really felt about her, and how she was able to give his mom that reassurance. Look, all she ever told me was that. All he ever said to me was how much he loved you. I feel like she's looking for that. She's looking for that forgiveness. She's looking for that, you know, that Lou really loved her and really understood. And she's trying to assuage her guilt. You know what I'm saying? And so she's talking to the therapist, and basically, baby, the therapist is time enough for her. Do you hear me? Time enough for her. The therapist was like, first of all, why are you here? She was like, well, I want to talk to you about my brother Lou. He was like, well, what you want to know? He was like, I didn't get the impression that you really liked me too much. You didn't like what I had to say about you too much. And she was like, because you was trying to, you wanted to talk about me when we was here to talk about my brother. He was like, but you were part of that. Like, you were part of us talking about, like, the reason why your brother was an alcoholic was you were part of that. Like, you were part of that conversation. And Rock says, she said, but I wasn't paying you for that. I was paying you to talk about my brother. He said, well, what you paying me to talk about today? She said, well, I want to know what my brother said about me. He said, I can't talk to you about what your brother said about you. He said, even though he's no longer here, there's still a confidentiality there where I can't tell you what your brother said about you. She was like, well, what did he say? I don't remember word for word, but basically she was like, well, you still putting everything on me. Like, you still making everything about me. He said, let me be clear. When you're here and you sitting in that chair across from me, it's going to be about you. Baby, Rock wasn't here for this. That ain't what Rock signed up for. That ain't why she was there. Rock was really sitting there like, this mother right here. Like, you could tell she wanted to cuss him out. But at the end of the day, listen, he don't care about that street stuff. Don't none of that bother him. Ain't none of that concerning him. And we remember, if you go back and remember, Lou did open up and tell him, he let him know how he felt, and he let him know about his sister and the life and the things that she made him do. Not in the details, but that whole, you put me in these positions. You put me in these positions. So I thought it was a great conversation. Again, I feel like it is leading us to where we know we're headed. That's one of those scenes where I think we're coming around and bringing us a little bit of closure to Rock, and not closure like she skipping off and everything is happy closure, but closure like, okay, we kind of see things coming back around kind of thing. This next scene y'all, I'm not being funny. This next scene really reminded me of like New Jack City, and even the spoof with Martin on New Jack City, where you got your people sitting around the table and you laying down the law. You know what I mean? You trying to put your soldiers in order and you laying down the law. And of course, his boys are like, look, we were shook. Like, we were sitting in the stash house minding our business, and Marvin come through there, and like we saw our lives flash before our eyes, and then we see you pop up and you looking all fucked up. Like what's really going on? And he was like, so basically, all that don't matter. You need to be out on them streets making that money. Like, okay, so he came through there. He ain't kill y'all. Where y'all ain't making money? So then the dude with all the mouth was like, but I mean, we see how you showed up in here. Maybe you need to lay low a little bit, baby. What he say that for? What that boy say that for? Because what Kanan do? Kanan took him out. Marvin is my favorite. Marvin has always been my favorite. I did like Lulu, but Marvin has always been my favorite. I was watching somebody online, one of the Instagram accounts I follow for power, and he was like, Marvin ain't been eating this season. Have y'all noticed that ever since Lou died, we really haven't seen Marvin eating? I think we had that one scene where Marvin was eating his cereal and Jukebox was trying to get him to think that Rock had something to do with Lou being taken out. And he was like, what you want me to do? What you want me to do, Juke? What you want me to do? I'm eating my cereal. But ever since then, we have always seen Marvin with food in his hand, a hamburger, some Chinese food, like something. We ain't seen Marvin with nothing. Then he's depressed. If he ain't been eating. So anyway, there's that. So Baptiste rolls up on Garcia. He said, listen, you screwed up my retirement party. So now I'm about to screw up your night. You screwed up my night. I'm about to screw up your night. So Baptiste explains to Garcia what really happened with the whole famous situation. He said, look, yeah, I passed Famous's name on, but I didn't think it was a big deal because the person that he took out was like a neighborhood, like somebody in the neighborhood that nobody really liked. So I just didn't think it was that big of a deal. It was these two people, they was putting pressure on us, these two old gangsters putting pressure on us. And at the end of the day, I didn't think passing that name on was going to be that big of a deal. Like, I didn't realize I didn't think it was going to blow up into all of this. And he said who the cops were that dirty cops. He said, but they not working for Raquel. He said, they don't work for Raquel Thomas. He said, they work for somebody else. And he was like, and Garcia was like, who? And baby, why he dropped Pops and Snap's government names? Baby, he popped it. And he was like, Pops and Snaps? As soon as found out, their government name, he was like, Pops and Snaps? He was like, yeah. He was like, they got a hard on for Raquel Thomas. And I just was trying to get everybody off my back. So I threw him a bone. I didn't think that they was going to do what they did to him. Like, I didn't think it was going to be this. So it does not sound like Baptiste was like, on the take, but he definitely passed Famous's name on to Snaps and Pops. Now let me put a pin in this right here. Let me put a pin in this right here. This is why producers, this is why we need a prequel to the prequel. I need an origin story for Snaps and Pops because there's a reason why they don't like Raquel. There is a history there that involves DEF CON. And I told y'all what I think the history is, but it is what it is. There's a history there that involves DEF CON and their hate for Raquel, and Ronnie is somewhere mixed up in there too. Because remember, Ronnie could not stand Rock either, and Ronnie knew that Rock was lying about DEF CON. And I kind of feel like maybe DEF CON and Ronnie had a little thing going on. I don't know, y'all. I ain't gonna say. If it were me writing the prequel, that would be the prequel. If it were me writing the prequel, Ronnie and DEF CON knew each other's secret. And that's why Ronnie knew that Raquel was lying about who the daddy was. Because remember, Ronnie knew it was a lie. But I think and remember, Ronnie was a little uncomfortable with women. In my opinion. And if I'm writing a prequel, that's the prequel that I'm writing. DEF CON and Ronnie had a little secret thing. Couldn't be public. Rock was his beard. But I think Ronnie knew a little bit more than the average person because him and DEF CON were a little closer. Now, Snaps and Pop, not quite sure yet, but there's definitely something there. And here's what I can appreciate, even though I have questions. Even though I definitely have questions, I appreciate that they didn't try to shove all of that into this. I appreciate that they're not trying to give us all of this extra for us to try to figure out. I really appreciate that, okay? Because that would be too much in the last season to try to get this whole extra storyline. But we need a prequel. Production. Sasha Penn. I need a prequel, boo. I need a prequel to the prequel. I need a prequel to the prequel. Okay. And there was another spinoff that I thought about. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, let me think. Whose character? It was somebody else that I was like, we could get a whole nother spinoff. Who was it? Damn. It might come to me. But it was somebody else when I was watching this episode. It was somebody else that came to me and I was like, hell, that could be another story too. Who was it? Oh, Unique. Where the hell did Unique go? I feel like we could get a spinoff for Unique. Whatever city he ended up in, I doubt very seriously he went straight. Like, I doubt that he went and got a regular 9-to-5 job and took care of his family. Like, no. He went and got into some shit. He just left New York. But I think wherever he went, and I think he went south. I think he went into a small market that he could dominate and manipulate and bring that big city mentality. If I were the one writing it, he went south. He went to like North Carolina. For those of us who grew up in the 80s, we know that North Carolina, that pipeline, that 95 pipeline, 85 pipeline down, that was a hole from New York through DC down into North Carolina, South Carolina. If it were me, I would have Unique go to like Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh. They were all small towns. You know, they weren't real big towns in the 90s. I went to Greensboro and I went to college in Greensboro in the 90s. I can tell you, the buses didn't run on Sundays. Stopped running at 5. I think 7 o'clock. The buses stopped running and didn't run on Sundays. You think Unique became the Dapper Dan? Now I can see that. I can see Unique really getting into that, the tailoring. I can see that. I don't think he went to Miami. Miami was too saturated. Like Miami in the 90s? Nah. I don't think he went that far. Maybe Atlanta. But if I'm writing it, I'm putting him in North Carolina. I'm having him drive to North Carolina and setting up shop. And whoever his pipe, and again, that's the whole first season. The whole first season is him getting there, finding out the lay of the land, who's in charge, and taking them out and finding a supplier. That's season 1 right there. That's 10 episodes right there. Or maybe further, like maybe Alabama, Memphis. I would put him in the South. That's just me though. Okay, moving right along. You love the prequel? Yeah. Mr. Teach, we gotta get to the producers, okay? Because we need that. We absolutely need a prequel. Right. How did the Thomas family even get started? Like, how did they get started in the game? We need a prequel. But anyway, moving right along, child. Moving right along. Let's get back to this episode. So we see Breeze and Stefano go and meet with Habib. And they make a proposal to Habib about basically Rock. Like, look, cut her off. We got more. We can sell your stuff. We can meet the demand, but cut her off. We know that y'all relationship hasn't been great. We're trying to put her out of business. If you cut her off, she ain't got nowhere else to go. Here's my problem with this situation. And again, I really think this comes down to Rock being a woman and Rock being a black woman. Because when Habib told Rock, look, I'm cutting off our relationship, it's what it is, Rock made a valid point. Rock was like, look, I ain't trying to stop your money. What's the problem with supplying both of us? I don't see what the issue is here. Like, make your money off of everybody. I just need my cut. I ain't got nothing to do with them other people. In my mind, that's where Habib should have been coming from. Because at the end of the day, Habib don't owe none of them nothing. He don't know them. He don't like them. He don't fuck with them. He wouldn't invite them to his house for dinner. None of them. So why do you care? I would definitely do the double cross. Now I would have increased her money. I'd have been like, look, some people really want you out the game, and I'ma still fuck with you. But the price has gone up. Yesterday's prices ain't today's prices. That's what I would have done. I'm just sorry. Like, I'm gonna make my money because you don't owe them nothing. You don't have no loyalty to them. You don't have. Why would? But again, I really think this goes back to Rock being a woman, because if Rock were a man, I feel like he would have played the game. But you just gonna jump on the bandwagon of, and I understand Rock didn't hold up her end of the deal. I understand Rock came at you and was like, I can sell it. I get that. But she's making money for you now. She's back on. She's selling the product. She's making money for you now. But anyway. Unfortunately, Baptiste, after he clears his conscience, he eats his gun. Everybody knew where that scene was going. When you saw him in his blues, you knew what he was about to do. Marvin has a heart-to-heart with Flossie. I like this relationship between Marvin and Flossie. I mean, obviously, it ain't gonna last long because, again, I don't think Marvin makes it out. But, I mean, I think he ends up in jail. But he's talking to her about, again, what does he do? Like, now he knows who took out his brother. What does he do with that? It's complicated. What do I do now about my taking my brother out? And he said, well, did you feel better? You know, after you took out the person who killed your daughter, like, did you feel better? She was like, no, not really. You know, like, at the end of the day, am I sorry I did it? No. Did it make me feel any better? No. You know, she was like, look, grief is a complicated thing. People tell you it's going to get easier. They lying. It doesn't. And again, we see Marvin grappling with all of these things that he's dealing with. He ends up taking Juke to go meet up with the little girl. And he lets her know, he said, listen, because if anything were to ever happen to me, I want you to know that who she is. I want you to find her. I want her to be able to find you if y'all need each other. And of course, Juke was like, where you going? And he was like, look, I don't have no plans to go nowhere, but don't nobody plan to go nowhere. I could step off the curb tomorrow and be gone. Like, I just want to make sure that you know about her, she know about you, and y'all are good. Like, that's the main thing. I want to make sure that y'all are good. Flossie is playing chess with Marvin. Hold on a quick second, y'all. I'm sorry. Hold on. What's up, JB? Hey, boo. Once again, we see where Breeze is the rational person in the room, because him and Kanan are having this conversation, and Kanan is like, yo, when we hitting back at Rock? Now, mind you, Kanan doesn't know about the moves that Breeze is making to cut Rock's business off. He don't, because he don't know all of that. But he's like, what we doing? He was like, she took a swing at us. We got to swing back. Breeze was like, no, she took a swing at you. We just collateral damage. We don't have nothing to do with that. He was like, you need to, like, there's a time and a place. Like, at the end of the day, that's y'all's personal shit. I'm not going to allow y'all's personal shit to interfere with my business. I'm going to move how I need to move for the business, not for no personal vendettas. Jukebox could eliminate the neighbor that could identify Marvin to save Marvin's life. Again, I think Marvin's going to jail, so I think that Juke, we're going to see Juke go and build a relationship with that girl. But I think that's what Marvin ends up going to jail for. I think out of all the dirty shit that Marvin has done on the streets, I don't think he go to jail for none of that. I think he going to go to jail for what he did trying to save that white girl. Because isn't that ironic? All the dirt that I did do for no reason, the one thing I tried to do in righteousness is what gets me hemmed up. I really think that's what happens to Marvin. Garcia and Jukebox have a moment. Garcia tells Jukebox, look, I ain't meant to be no dirty cop. This I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm going to give you the information I have. But please understand, I'm going to give you this money back, every single dime, every single penny. And this relationship is over. I'm not doing, I can't do this. I thought I could. And Baptiste said something to Garcia, which I think is what part of this. He said, you the only clean person in that department. Like, you the only person that's not on the tape. And he said, congratulations to you. Like, you better than this. You better than me. You better than all of these people. And you need to, like, hold your head up high. So, of course, and Garcia's like, well, shit, I'm really not. And so he tells Juke, look, this ain't working for me. And Juke said the same thing. Juke was like, I don't even know how I got into this bullshit either. I don't know how I got into it either. He said, listen, if you keep yourself clean and you stay out the mess, I'm done. I'm done dogging you out. I'm done following you around. Like, I'm done. Like, just stay clean, stay good. Stay over there, stay righteous. I'm good. But he does tell Juke what he found out about who took Famous out. And he lets Juke know it was Snaps and Pops. It was not Rock. It was not the dirty cops that Rock got on her payroll. It was the dirty cops that Snaps and Pop got on their payroll. And of course, now Jukebox, being the very intelligent woman that Jukebox is, she's connecting all of the dots now. She was like, wait, what? Snaps and Pop. They're the ones that took out Famous? So she's going to realize, or has realized, that Snaps and Pop have been playing the chess pieces with Kanan all along. Now the question is, I know that Juke ain't really been fucking with Rock, but now that she knows that Rock is not guilty of the stuff she thought Rock was guilty of, the question is she going to circle back around and let Rock know? Is Jukebox going to tell Rock what she found out? Or even Marvin, for that matter. I think she might. But we'll see that. So then we see Jarita go and quit her job. She tells Flossie, look, this ain't for me. This ain't the life for me. I was never made for this. Flossie was like, you right. You weren't. This one for you. Like, this wasn't your forte. You know, she said, thank you for everything. Flossie said, you're welcome. You know, go do what you do. Jarita leaves, and then we see Kanan, you know. Now, Kanan, here's where you're stupid. The minute that the door was unlocked should have been your first clue that something ain't right. Why would that woman leave her door unlocked? I don't care if she lives in a security building. I don't care if she lives in, you know, the Upper West Side. I don't care. What make you think this woman left her door unlocked? I rewound that part 3 times to make sure. I mean, did he pick the lock? Did he do? No. I was like, did Jarita do something? No. So Kanan walks up in there like he about to do something, and baby Flossie got the drop on him. Baby Flossie puts the weapon to his temple and says, "You better be lucky that this is a new rug." Now, personally, and of course we know because we know Kanan doesn't die. But personally, I think you should have pulled the trigger. Flossie was like, "I'm not stupid. Y'all think I'm dumb. Y'all think I'm this dumb white girl. I'm not. I ain't dumb at all. I ain't stupid at all. Not I." This scene made me really love Flossie, and did. So then we have Marvin and Raquel. Now, I honestly feel like this is the point of no return, because Marvin lets her know, are you sure you really want to do this? Like, this is going to take us to another situation. This is going to take us to a whole nother situation. But Heidi Fleiss is my favorite character this season. Yeah, Flossie is definitely my girl. Now, because Flossie got some history too. Now, I don't think I want a whole series about Flossie, but she's definitely got a story to tell as well. They roll up on Habib's right-hand man, right? They're going to hit his spot. So Rock comes through the front. He sees Rock with the gun in her hand. He runs out the back. Of course, Marvin is in the back waiting for him. Marvin hits him. Rock takes the kill shot. And that's where it ends. I thought Jarita left the door ajar. I didn't think. Did she? Okay, maybe she did. I rewound it, y'all, and I didn't see that. But listen, clearly, but still, you had to know that was way too easy. But again, he probably thought she was just a dumb white girl. She left the door. Okay, all right, y'all. All right. I didn't see it. I rewound that part too. And I didn't see it because I was trying to see if maybe I didn't rewind it far enough because I rewound it to when Kanan came in. So maybe I just didn't rewind it far enough. So in my mind, that's the way the episode ended. And in my mind, I was like, we are definitely at a point of no return. Because Rock looked good in that black. Baby, Rock always looks good. Baby, Rock gives it to the people. You know Habib is going to know it's y'all. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you have to know he's coming. And he's got firepower. I mean, he's got firepower on a whole nother level. So I don't know what the plan is here, you know? I think Juke tells Rock about Snaps and Pop. Juke is smart. What? I think she's going to tell Rock too. I definitely think she's going to. She needs to. But that is the end of the episode, you guys. I thought this was a really good episode. Y'all know Raising Kanan is my favorite out of the spinoffs. I think Origins is going to be pretty good as well. I'm looking forward to Origins. Well, we're going to see. We got 2 more episodes, y'all. 2 more. I can't believe it. We're almost at the end. Don't make me start singing Boys to Men at the end of the road, honey. The end of the road. Yeah, that's when I figured Rock was ready to pass. She know it's done. I told y'all I don't think Rock makes it. I don't. I got to go. I'm going to see if I can, my hairdresser, I'm going to see if I can go get my braid. But anyway. I wondered if that monster she's working with is going to save her from herself. He seems to be enamored with her. Then again, he could unallow her. Your reviews tell me about to watch it. Go watch it, friend. It's a good show. I don't know if he's gonna save her. I don't know if he's gonna save her, but what I do feel is I do feel I don't know. I just feel like, again, I was hoping Rock made it out, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. We have to suffer more Kanan. Yeah, we do have to suffer more Kanan, but I'm definitely here for the Tommy Ghost kid version. You know, I'm definitely here to see how we got there, how we got to that. But yeah, you're right. I'm over Kanan, his ass. I had to lock my door after dismissing Jarita, so maybe it was a test to see if she was on some. Maybe it was a test because, again, Flossie was ready. Flossie was definitely ready. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. I have something to do, so I might be running a little bit late. I have something to do this evening. But my plan is to try to be back home by 8:30. Okay. But other than that, I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace. And thank you, Mr. Teach, for dropping down. You come back now. My kindred spirit, my teacher, history teacher in arms. You come on back. I'll talk to y'all later. Go back and look. She didn't close the door. Okay. I kept rewinding it to Kanan going in. I guess I didn't rewind it far enough back to when she left out the door. Because I rewound it because I was like, did he pick the lock or something? I was like, that was just too easy. But maybe you're right. Maybe I should have rewound it all the way back to when she left because I didn't go that far back. Yeah. My bad, y'all. Dear Diary said, go back, girl. Go back. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Bell collect. I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get y'all 3 episodes tomorrow because when I tell y'all, J Love, I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. I promise. I'm gonna try tomorrow. I have to go. I have to go to the gym tomorrow, and I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna go get my nails done tomorrow. I need to get my nails done this week before I leave. So it's either gonna be obviously tomorrow, Wednesday, or Thursday. So I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna go and get my nails done tomorrow. But I'm definitely going to the gym. When I get back home, I guess I'll knock it out. Oh God. I guess I'll go ahead and get it done. Okay. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.